First off, welcome. Thank you very much for joining our first webinar. So you might have to bear with me if we have a few teething issues, but hopefully not. We've done our prep, we've done a few demo runs, so it should be all okay. I can see a number of people have joined from different industries and using different help desks. So we'll talk through some different examples through the course of the webinar. My name is Mike. I'm one of the founders of My AskAI. Just as a bit of background to our business, we're based in the UK. We've been around for about 3 years now. We're some of the first people in the world to use some of the AI technology that powers AI chatbots in the way that it does now. So we can definitely give you kind of lots of technical information if you need. If you've got any questions through the course of this webinar, feel free to ask them in the chat, or it looks like we've got a questions section as well. So feel free to ask them there, and then I'll pick them up either if it's relevant through the webinar, or I'll just pick them up at the end. So the webinar's goal is basically to take you through My AskAI, take you through kind of all the bits of information you would get on a demo call. We can show you how the product's going to work, what it will look like within your help desk. And also give you a few tips and tricks of how to improve your AI's performance and what a rollout will actually look like, and how you can stage this and do this over time. So I'll start off by just sharing my screen, and we'll take you through. Let me know. You should be able to see this now. So as I mentioned, so we are an AI customer service agent that can be plugged into lots of different help desks. That's one of kind of our USPs, basically, that you can actually move between help desks and take your AI with you. So it means you're not kind of locked into one. We currently have integrations with 5 different help desks, as you can see: Zendesk, Intercom, Freshdesk, HubSpot, and Gorgeous. The features are pretty much comparable across all of those help desks. So if you've got a feature in one, it will be the same feature in another. So you can see on the call, we've got some people who are Intercom users, Gorgeous users. In fact, we've got pretty much the full spectrum of users. I'll be taking you through a demo showing you what the responses look like in Intercom, but the same process maps across to all the different help desks. And the actual product itself you'll be seeing is majorly our dashboard, which is going to be the same regardless of whichever help desk that you actually use. So just to take you through a couple more of our USPs. So one of the big ones that and maybe one of the reasons you found out about us is our pricing. We are one of the most affordable AI agents that you can plug into any of these different help desks. Our kind of headline pricing is 10 cents for each ticket. And you can see more on our pricing page, where it will take you through the kind of different plans. We've got our Pro plan, which is basically our base plan that gives you 1,000 tickets included. And then 12 cents, that is for every extra ticket. Up to 5,000 you can use that plan for. If you go beyond 5,000, you'll need to be moving to our scale plan. Our scale plan starts at $500, includes 10,000 tickets with that 10 cents ticket pricing. And then you can use the scale plan up to kind of however many tickets that you have. You don't have to move to the enterprise plan, but it's there as an option. The biggest differences between the plans are basically around the level of support that you're going to get. So as you can see here on our Pro plan, you'll get live chat supports with replies within a day. If you go to the scale plan, then you get same day replies. You can also get video calls as well. And then on the enterprise plan, we'll invite you into our Slack. We do a lot more kind of proactive account reviews and things like that as well. Enterprise is basically where you'd need kind of more custom development work. Scale is just where you need a bit more support, basically. A lot of the features, though, are consistent across the plans. So you'll be able to test all of them out on our 30-day free trial. You'll be able to test every feature. There's no limits to that trial. So if you have 10,000 tickets, you can put 10,000 tickets through, and you can just see how it performs. Also, if you want to dive into some of our case studies, you can see our case studies on our blog site. And this will basically be lots of different examples from SaaS businesses like Recruit CRM to e-commerce businesses like YouGarden or Edloptics. And through these, they'll also explain how they actually got set up, what features they're using, and how how they progressed from when they started to where they got to. So there's some great stories in there, including Recruit when they started. They didn't have a very rigorous help desk, and they had about a 34% resolution. And through time and through improvements in our products and work on their side, they've managed to get this up to a 68% resolution now. We've got customers, as you can see, kind of varying in resolutions. So up to 80%, 79% here, 78%. Zephy are at something like 86%, I think. You can see the kind of average, it kind of comes out as around about 70% you can expect. Obviously, it will depend on the quality of your help center and things. Right, so now what I'll do is I'll take you, I'll show you what the kind of product looks like, and I'll show you how responses look. We're going to do an example for a company called DoorDash. If you haven't heard of them, they're a US delivery-based company. So they're all about food delivery, similar to Delivery or Uber Eats if you have those different businesses in your locations. So as an example, we're going to show you, this is just within Intercom. And we can show you here that this is an example of a note reply. And so all the help desks have this as an option, as a functionality. You can see that a message has come in. In this case, it's coming via chat. It can also come in via email in all the different help desks as well. We actually cover lots of channels on HubSpot and Gorgeous, I think, as well. They cover all the kind of messaging channels and things like that as well. And then what's going to happen is, instead of actually replying, it's going to just generate an internal note reply. This means that you're going to see the reply as a human agent, but it's not going to send it to the customer. Now, this is a great way for you to actually start using the AI in a very low risk way. You can see what responses look like, and you can decide if you want to do anything to improve those responses. So you'll also notice a note reply that comes after that reply, which allows you to click into that specific ticket and conversation and really dig into the details. And I'll show you what that looks like as well in a second. From here, you can also add guidance to customize the types of replies and responses and kind of tone of voice and those kinds of things. And you can also create custom answers if you want to correct something or introduce a new bit of knowledge. Now, the other really nice thing about having note replies on is that as your human agent replies, if it's a response that the AI doesn't have or knowledge that it doesn't have, then it'll actually learn from the human agent's responses. So you could have this on in that note reply mode for the first couple of weeks, and you could then just see the responses coming in. You can type your responses as per normal, and the AI is going to learn from those responses, and it's going to start building knowledge articles within your dashboard. And those are going to be used by the AI going forward. So it will actually get smarter just by you replying normally. And so that'll be the case even when you go to direct reply, but it's a good way of having it on and seeing those replies and having it improve to begin with. So you can see this is basically just being used in a kind of co-pilot functionality. So it's a way to kind of help you get that information. You might want to tweak some of these bits before they get sent, but it allows you to see how the AI is going to perform initially. So then I'm going to move on to another ticket here. So we can see here that in this case, the customer wants to cancel their order. And we're actually using something called a task here. So a task is where you can allow a multi-step process to occur. So it could be where you need to collect various bits of information before you actually take an action. So in this case, the AI agent has looked and seen, and you can see we're in direct reply mode here. So it's just telling you that it's using a task, but it's actually replying directly to the customer. And you can see that it's actually looked up an order from the from DoorDash's database and sees that, okay, this email address has this order. They can then confirm that. And then just to kind of clarify further, they're telling them what the order is for, so they can make sure that they're actually canceling the correct order. And then they're also using some logic here. So you can see that there's some logic in this task that says, because it was placed so recently, we can cancel it. If it was longer than a certain period, maybe you can't, and you have a different flow for that as well. This is all very easy to set up, and I'll show you how that works as well in a second. It's then confirmed the cancellation, and all that was done without having to have a human actually involved. Then the third type of ticket I'll just show you. Again, we've got another direct reply here, so you can see that it's responded straight away. But in this case, there was a safety issue. So the DoorDash customers found some glass in their salad, and that's not something they, for whatever reason, DoorDash want the AI to deal with themselves. Maybe they want to ensure they can raise this to the appropriate health and safety people. And so what happens here is we have some guidance, some escalation guidance in place that says if someone asks anything about a safety issue, then pass that ticket or conversation over to a person. And you can see here that this human handover has occurred. And so basically what this is showing you is that you can decide when and how you want things to be passed over to a human and whether you want them to be answered by the AI. So you get to have that control. Lots of different elements of control that you can have. Everything from if the AI can't answer a question, you can have it escalate. You can have it escalate based on those kind of quantitative criteria, or you can have it escalate based on certain tags being applied to a ticket as well. So there's lots of different ways in which you can actually have those escalations occur when you want to. So you can really kind of control what things you want to start the AI answering for, and then you can build on those over time as you get more confidence. So that's basically how the AI is going to interact with your help desk. Now I'm going to take you through what that setup process actually looks like. So if you imagine you've come to our site now, you've signed up for a new account, you've entered a couple of onboarding details, this is then going to be the page that you land on. Now, if you have one of these help desks, so Intercom, Zendesk, or Freshdesk, you have direct API connectors for, and it's literally just the case of connecting the help center by clicking a couple of buttons, giving it permission, and then it will ingest all of your help center content. If you use HubSpot or Gorgeous and you use their specific help centers, then you can actually just add it as website content here, and we'll crawl those pages, pull all those articles, and ingest them all. You can see here, we've also got another option for training on historic support tickets. Now, this is available to all of those help desk platforms, and basically means that if you don't already have a help center, or maybe it's out of date, and you know that there's much more value and information in your tickets, then you can basically connect your help desk. We'll run through tens of thousands of your historic tickets, and we'll use AI to generate an initial help center and a set of articles for you that can be used by the AI agent. So there's really kind of no blockers to having you start to use an AI agent. If you've got a help center, great, we can use that. If you don't, we can use your tickets, and we can also use a blend of the two if you want. Obviously, you get to review the kind of articles and make any changes and edits if you want before it actually goes live. If you were, so if you're in e-commerce, you'll also have an option here of connecting Shopify if you use Shopify, and we'll be able to pull in all your product information, all your customer order data and things like that. But really, this is just a case of clicking a couple of buttons and you'll be able to kind of proceed. If you want to add any more knowledge sources, so if you've got things in Notion or Google Drive where you've got Google Sheets of FAQs or standard operating procedures anywhere, you can connect those, and we'll take you through that later as well. And the same with live user data. So live user data basically means connecting to APIs, connecting to databases, things like that. So we can pull in that information as well to ensure that your customers are going to get answers that are personalized to them and their scenario and situation. So it could be account information, it could be order information, it could be any of those things. So once you've connected your knowledge and given it something to go off, then you're going to move to what we call guidance setup. So guidance is basically how you control how the AI is going to behave in certain scenarios. We've got three types of guidance. We've got communication style, context and clarification, and then handover and escalation. Hopefully they're self-explanatory, but just to take you through it in more detail, communication style is basically the tone of voice, how you make it make it work for your brand. So you can take all your brand guidelines, tone of voice documents, distill them into style guidance, and you can add up to 30 different instructions here. We've got a few kind of default examples here: casual and friendly responses, whether you want to use emojis in your responses, and how empathetic you want things to be. So this allows you to really dial in, and you can make tweaks to these over time. This is just kind of your initial setup, but you can always change these later. With context and clarification, this is basically where you can you can give the AI some context to ask a single follow-on question. So in this case, if someone has contacted DoorDash and said they've got a mobile app issue, well, it's very important to know which platform they're using. Are they using Android? Are they using iOS? And so it will always ask them which platform they're using, so the AI agent could be better directed to the right answer there. So think very simple one question, follow-on questions there. And then the handover and escalation. Now, this is where you'll probably spend a bit more time, where you want to ensure that it's only going to answer the things that you want, and it's going to escalate things that you want people to handle. So in this case, kind of classic examples would be if someone has a legal issue and they're threatening legal action, just always pass that over to a person to deal with. And the same as that example I showed you, if they found something in their food, just pass that over to a person to deal with. As I mentioned, you can have 30 different pieces of guidance for each of these. If you need to extend that, we can always help as well. And as you actually create them, you'll see you can type in whatever you want and click optimize, and it will rewrite it in the format that's best for the AI. So you don't need to worry about prompting or anything like that as you're getting set up. So then once we've completed our guidance, and you're more than welcome to just leave the default guidance and then tweak it later as you see some responses, then we move on to our connection screen. Now, it'll be a very similar screen regardless of which help desk you're using. You'll see a button here, and it will take you through the installation process. With most of them, it's just a case of actually clicking a button to connect or putting in a URL that you want to connect to, for gorgeous HubSpot, Freshdesk, and Zendesk, etc. And then by default, and now this is important, by default, it's only going to reply in that notes mode. So nothing's going to go to your customers until you choose for it to go to them. And so by default, you'll see it's in this draft note replies mode. This is a demo account, so we've got indirect replies. But when you sign up, it'll only be showing those draft note replies. And then there's some additional kind of configuration setups that you can choose. You can just leave the default settings if you're happy with them, but you can make any tweaks. And if you don't want to see those note replies, if you want to take some more time actually setting up your AI, you can also pause the agent here at this point too. So once you've got that all connected, then what's going to happen is we're going to pull in some previous tickets, so we can show you how the AI is actually performing. And again, you'll be able to look at this later once you've completed the onboarding. But basically, what this shows you is a set of questions that we've generated and run through the AI agent. And what you can do is you can click into these and you can see exactly the question asked, the response given, and then you can see, you can actually mark whether you would send these to a customer or not, and then give feedback here as well. So then, as well as showing whether the AI has actually been able to answer them, you can actually score them and come up with a score that you can then iterate on over time as well. So once you've tested the tickets, you're then going to be taken to the dashboard. So you're going to land initially on the insights page. I'll take you through that in a second. But just to go back to some of those other bits that you've already seen. So you've got your knowledge page. Knowledge is going to be kind of what you saw at the onboarding and gives you the opportunity to add more information if you want, connect additional sources, if you want to connect macros, or if you want to use any of those cloud-based knowledge sources, or you want to go through the live use data connection, they're all there for you. So you can do that once you actually onboarded. But one of the top questions we usually get asked is how do you actually improve the AI agent over time? Obviously, because it's going to pull in information, and everyone has different kind of styles of responses that they want. Everyone has gaps in their knowledge. So how do we actually ensure that you can improve that over time? And we always like to say that the day that you sign up is going to be the worst your AI agent ever performs, because every little bit of self-learning, every bit of knowledge, every bit of guidance you apply is going to improve it. We're also obviously making changes behind the scenes to improve the AI agent's performance. We're always running tests to improve kind of the different models that we're using and the different samples and things like that. So guidance, I've already taken you through. And the test screen as well. This is the same screen you would have seen at onboarding. I'm going to show you two new features. So firstly, there's the self-learning feature. Now, this is what I mentioned earlier, where I said that it's going to learn from its historic tickets, and it's going to learn from actual human agent responses. So what happens here is that every week we're going to look through all of the tickets and the human agent responses, look for where the AI couldn't reply, but a human could. And then we're going to use the human agent's responses to generate new articles. So we can see here that we can click into one of these articles, and this is all generated by the AI. We can click preview if we want to see how it looks. And this is an article that's just been generated with knowledge that obviously wasn't in the knowledge center or help center originally. And so it's going to continually add to this, look to this, update this with any changes. And you'll get an email on a weekly basis saying kind of what's changed, what's updated. But yeah, these are basically AI articles that are plugging the gaps in your knowledge automatically for you, so you don't need to actually go in and do anything yourself. The next element of Improve is the inspect tool. So the inspect tool is kind of like your audit log for your AI agent. So it means that every single conversation that has gone through your help desk, you can see here and you can dig into. So what you can do is you can just search by intercom ID. You could click that button that we saw in the help desk that said inspect a conversation. It's going to take you straight to this screen. And then once you find the conversation that you want to, or ticket you want to dig into, you just click it. And then you can see exactly what the question was and what the reply was. So we can see here also the AI CSAT reason that was given, which I'll explain more in a bit as well. But the other nice thing about this is we can actually really dig into where the AI agent got its answer from. So if you're unsure of why the AI answered in the way that it did, then what you can do is you can click this inspect answer, and then you can just ask questions. You can say, where did you get this knowledge from? You can say, why did you reply in this manner? And what it's going to do is it's going to look through all of its knowledge that it used to answer the question. It's also going to look through all the guidance, basically everything that's on your account. And it's going to formulate and explain why it answered the question in the way that it did, so you can understand whether it is something that you need to update guidance for, whether you need to clarify something in your knowledge, or just basically what the next kind of action is for you. It might be that the user data wasn't available or something like that. If there is a question that requires user data, you'll also see that here as well. And so you'll be able to really kind of dig in and understand why the AI gives the answers in the way that it does. And you can kind of learn from that as well. Okay, so we've gone through Improve, we've gone through our knowledge setup. Now I'm going to take you through tasks and tools. So tasks are for those kind of multi-step procedures that I showed you earlier on that intercom ticket. So it's where you actually need to maybe collect a few bits of information, maybe pull information from different places. But a task is basically a multi-step process. Tools are basically an API connection to somewhere. So somewhere in your backend systems, most likely a database or similar. And so in this case, we've got an order lookup, and which is basically like a read API. So it's looking in your database and it's trying to find for this user what are their orders. And then we've got a refund order API, which basically will actually do the refund. So it's actually going to call your backend system and initiate the refund. So you can think of APIs as kind of like the tools that are being used by the tasks themselves. So we've got an example task in here for DoorDash. So issue-based partial refunds. So handle partial refunds for orders with issues up to 10% of the order value with a $20 maximum or escalate. So we're going to say, if the order is above a certain amount, then just escalate it. So this is then how the task actually looks. You can see there's quite a lot of detail in here. So we've got examples when it should be triggered, when it shouldn't be triggered, what a path looks like, and then the kind of step-by-step instructions and where we actually want to use handover rules or escalations. Now, that probably looks quite overwhelming to begin with, but the nice thing about this is you can just click new, and then you can just describe your task with AI, and it will populate all of those steps for you, and then you can just make any changes, check, review, etc., and improve that. Tasks are just the really nice way of looking at your highest impact things that you have to do. That could be account verifications, it could be product lookups, order lookups, refunds, address changes, all of those kind of things that currently your agents have to do because it requires going into another system and doing. They can all be handled now by tasks and tools. If you want to actually look at your connections or make any changes to your connections or configuration, you just go to Help Desks and Channels. And this is where you can just click into your integration. And again, you can do things like configure whether you want it to reply to emails as well as chat or different channels or anything like that. We've also got a Chrome extension Copilot. So the Chrome extension Copilot basically means that in your help desk, it's going to add a little sparkle icon like this that allows the human agent to just generate a reply on the fly. So it's just going to generate a reply. It's going to read through the messages, and it's going to create a reply in the text box. And then they can just make tweaks and send that there and then. Finally, let's just zoom out. Finally, I'll take you through the insights. So insights is your analytics. It's showing you overall what's happening with your account. It's going to take every ticket, every conversation. It's going to group them up automatically with AI by similar topics. So we can see, in this case, we've got tracking order statuses, wrong order assistance, glass found. It looks like that's happened a lot. And you can click into these and you can see what the actual issue was about. And you can see things like trends of these over time. You can see examples of the conversations that are running as well. So what this is most useful for, I would say, the insights page, is to sort by the low resolution topics and start to work out how you can improve upon those. So that could be that you need to add additional information. It could be that you need to create a task or add some user data for that as well. Obviously, you can also see trends over time, and you can export this information too. You'll see some high-level stats here as well. So we've got our AI resolve stat. So this basically means that what % of conversations haven't needed to be passed to a person? How many were resolved by the AI without an escalation? So in this case, almost just over 3 out of 4 conversations were handled by the AI. The AI CSAT is a way that we can actually score every single conversation that the AI has. It uses the CSAT criteria to look at the customer's questions, to look at the responses, and then it's going to score the conversation overall using that CSAT criteria. Sometimes it'll be above the resolve status, sometimes it'll be below, but it's a good direction of seeing whether it is actually having the impact that you hope for as well. So that is pretty much the product, the platform. If you have, I haven't seen any questions come in, I don't think. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask after the call, either through our chat just down here, or you can email me directly. Remember this, all of this products, all this functionality, everything I've shown you here is included as part of a 30-day free trial. So you'll be able to use everything you see here, get set up. If you get stuck, just message us. So showing you it's all no code. It's all very easy to actually put in place. And then if you do want a kind of individual setup call where I can help you go through the setup, make sure everything's connected properly, or give you a few tips and tricks on what you can improve, you can also book a demo call in with me directly. If there's no questions, then I'll close the webinar there. I really appreciate everyone taking the time to actually join the call. and look forward to seeing you all join soon. Thank you very much. Cheers.